actually a former contestant last year, well, last semester.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming today. We're excited to get started with our workshops today. Very first, our kickoff one. My name's Gabe. I'm also part of the MBI program, the Macklin Business Institute, as well as MC and Actus, co-president.
And I'm Sylvia, and I'm the marketing leader for Raptor Tank this year. I'm also part of the Macklin Business Institute, and I'm the VP of Cafe Initiatives for Enactus.
And just briefly, we also want to have some of our faculty and advisors introduce themselves as well, and then we'll have each and one of you introduce yourselves.
Hi everyone, I'm Hannah Weiser. I'm the coordinator for business and management at the college on all campuses, and I help the students with this program, although it's all student run. So all the credit goes to them, we're just here to support them.
And I'm Lindsay Dundertop. I'm one of the advisor student and MBI students, but mostly I'm here to thank you, the Raptor Tank competition. It's by far my favorite Montgomery College event ever, and you're the people and the force behind it that makes it all happen. So thank you for being here.
I'm Steve Lang. I'm the director of the Macklin Business Institute, and I love collaborating with different people on campuses, faculty, students, people in the local business communities for this great event. And we really look forward to hearing what you guys are going to be doing this year.
My name is John Colleton. I'm a faculty member here at Rockville. I teach business and management.
I'm Stephanie Krasnov. I did social media for Montgomery College.
Maybe I'm Stansky. I'm the lead producer. My team broadcast live the Raptor Tank Business Pitch Competition.
My name is Stefan Sandberg. I work at the college in office communications, but I'm also one of the judges.
All right, thank you everyone. So we're excited to get started. I know we saw a couple of you at the info sessions. A couple of you were not able to attend. We just want to briefly go over what Raptor Tank is, just some requirements and expectations for the competition.
So Raptor Tank is a business pitch competition, and it is proudly hosted by Montgomery College, Rockville, Enactus, the Department of Business in Rockville, the MBI Cafe, as well as the Macklin Business Institute.
So the cafe has very generously sponsored this event. So if you guys haven't helped yourself already, some coffee, some muffins, some pastries, please go ahead and help yourself. We have plenty left over. So we already introduced our team. You met our team here.
Some of the advisors weren't able to come today, but they will always be here for your assistance and guidance. So Raptor Tank serves to inspire students by connecting them with academic leaders and the entrepreneurial community. And here's a quick video on how Raptor Tank got started.
They were coming up with them in our classrooms, telling us about them for advice, and we really wanted to create some kind of a program that would allow them to turn those ideas into a reality. With the help of Enactus, we were able to provide a formal setting for students to network, collaborate, and also the funding to turn those ideas into a reality.
So that is our wonderful advisor, Professor Hannah Weiser. That rhymed. Okay, and here's a brief recap at some of our winners. Some of them you do see here. Raptor Tank consists of 4 prizes. The first prize, which is $2,500, and that was Stephen Coda last year. We have our second prize winner of $1,250, and that was Aisa Hernandez. Then we have our third prize winner, which is Natalie. She's right here, and yes, she'll be here to talk to you more about after this. And then we have the audience choice, which is extremely exciting because the audience gets to vote for their favorite business idea right there during the show. They get to text it out, and then you get to win a good sum of money.
So some of the benefits of Raptor Tank is we provide you with professional skills, and we provide you also how to develop and implement a business. And it's also a great way for networking and mentoring because you'll be working with real entrepreneurs in each workshop. And we also work with MCTV, which is a great way to market your business idea and concept.
We'll see if this video plays. We hope it does. And this is just the last year's competition. can just play it. We'll play it afterwards at the end.
So it's just a recap of last year's competition. If you came to the info sessions, you might have already seen it. So I just wanted to touch on what Sylvia touched on about networking, marketing. So not only will you be working with entrepreneurs, with faculty who can help you grow your business, you'll also be working with each other, giving each other ideas of ways that you might, something you might have not thought of, something that, someone else might help you out with, as well as with us, and everyone in the room is here to support you, and just the best for everyone. So the intent to participate form, everyone should have filled this out. We passed around the sign-in sheet. We had everyone's name from the participation form onto there. Did everyone get the sign-in sheet? All right. So
if you haven't filled this out yet, you still have until today, the end of today, to do so. And you can find it at bit.ly/Raptor Tank sign up. So we'll also probably pass around a laptop after
Does anyone
this.
still need to fill that out? We can pass out a laptop. You guys need to fill that out?
Yeah.
Couple. Okay.
So Raptor Tank consists of 6 workshops, and this is the first one, so welcome. You're almost there. We have workshops 2 through 5, which will be led by entrepreneurs and some faculty as well, which is really exciting. They're successful entrepreneurs within the area. And then the 6th workshop, which is the most exciting because that's going to be led by us, right? And that's going to be just helping you with presenting your presentation skills. And these are all 4 to 5 p.m. in this room, so it's not going to change all the time.
And those are mandatory, right?
Yes, mandatory.
Yep. So all workshops going forward are mandatory if your intention is to participate, which is everyone's in here, I'm guessing, to participate in the final competition, which first comes the qualifier day. So this is a dress rehearsal for the Rio competition. It's where we will have everyone present their idea, and from there we will choose our finalists who will compete for the prizes in the final competition, which will be 2 weeks later. So this is November 14th. We will let you guys know the time and the day for that.
Mandatory as well. And then we have our final competition.
Go back 1 second. We know the time for the rehearsal now, so we can share it.
Okay.
It'll be from 2:30 to 5 p.m. on that day in the
Theater Arts Building,
You can
November
mark your
14th.
calendars
Yep.
now.
We'll definitely send you guys a reminder. Definitely let you guys know more about that going forward.
And then we have our final competition, which is November 28th, which is set from 4 to 7 p.m. This is where you will present in front of a panel of judges as well as an audience of over 300 people. And this is where you will be chosen. The winners will be chosen. So it's really exciting. You will also have a chance, if you have an already existing product or service, you can market it there or sell it as well. So we've had former contestants actually sell their products during the competition, and it was very successful.
And you can invite your friends and family to that. It's not just MC students that can come to that. So mark your calendars and start calling people.
Yeah, last year we had over 300 or so people at the competition. It's a pretty big college-wide competition. A lot of people come in, a lot of friends and family come in from outside the college to support those who are competing. So the code of conduct, if you haven't gotten this yet, we can pass this around. It's just some requirements and expectations that you guys have as participants of the competition. Just some pretty simple stuff, along with just you guys just being aware that you will be being filmed by MCTV, and just some requirements and expectations that you will have for the competition.
Also, we have the judging criteria. This is what the panel of judges will be critiquing you on your business idea, product, or service, such as the business concept, the management of the team, the marketing, the financials, the implementation, and any additional considerations.
Yeah, so we can definitely, there's a couple of you who hadn't filled out the participation form. We can get that done right now. Does anyone also need the code of conduct and the judge evaluation sheet?
Just get everyone to sign just so that you.
Okay. So if you just want to grab one and pass it down.
Now we will have our representatives from MCTV just come up and talk a little bit more about what MCTV it is and their contribution to this project.
very excited to be here. I have been working on this project, I think this is my third or fourth year. And each year has been different, and we are always changing and improving and adapting and making it better. So this year, I can let you know, like I said, that we were going to be there on November 28th. We're going to stream live on Montgomery College's Facebook page. So you're not following Montgomery College on Facebook, please follow. And you can also follow MCTV Social because we also post a lot of things in there too. So we're going to stream live the competition. It starts at 4. We stream live until 7. And during the judges' deliberation, we're going to be interviewing about your, after you pitch your business idea, we want to talk to you. So this is also the time that you're going to be selling or marketing. So we coordinate with Malia, Gabe, and everybody. So you got to know also that while if you're planning to sell, it can be only you there, right? You need a team. You need somebody else supporting you because you're going to be giving an interview too. The interview is very short, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's very short. Obviously, we are live. So, you know that. Another thing I have noticed, we have had a few contestants in the past that want to use video during the presentation. So if you are one of those contestants who is planning to have video, you have to clear with us, especially about the music. If you have music in there, we will provide music for you. We have a library. We can find something similar to what you have or something like that because we have, we cannot, run the risk of copyright infringement, and Facebook can stop our streaming and all. So, just let us know later, in the game, prior to rehearsal would be best. Oh, I'm planning, I have this video, Danielle, can you see it? So, just want to make you aware of that. So I also will have a photo and video consent and release form that I will be passing around. It's 2 pages. I need you all to sign. And I'll be coming to the other workshops too, and I'll be sending you a little bit more papers to get your information on different things. So just be aware of that. And I think this is it for me, unless somebody has a question.
Anyone have a question?
Super good.
Thank you, Danielle.
You're welcome.
So this is one of our judges. Mr. Stefan Sandberg. Just briefly going to go over.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Very exciting. As I think someone else mentioned, this is also my favorite activity at Montgomery College. A very brief background about myself. I didn't realize I was an entrepreneur until I was older and looked back and realized I had at that point been CEO for 3 startups. I worked for a private equity firm as a venture manager and executive director for a business incubator. And prior to coming to Montgomery College, I was a judge on Sweden's largest business plan contest for 17 years. And this is my 2nd year back at Raptor Tank, and it is a fantastic thing. So I've read a lot of business plans, both working in the business incubator and as a judge. And so I had a handful of things. I'm better at answering questions than presenting stuff, but I'll try to present a few things and then is that okay? They ask questions.
Yes.
So one of the most important things I look for is, is this a business that somebody is really looking to grow? Is it just how are you going to take it from being a startup to being something scaled up and real that you can make money on? So oftentimes you see, when you look at the financials, it's, I'm going to make X amount of money, and you ask, well, where's the salary? Oh, I'm going to work for free. Well, that works for a while. It works when you're a student. It works for the first few years. But to really be a business, there has to be revenue. There have to be salaries. Are you going to add employees as you go? How are you going to pay them? How are you gonna do all the back office stuff? There's accounting, there's rent. You can only stay in your parents' basement for so long. Eventually, you gotta move out, and then you have to, their costs. And that's what running a business is all about. How are people gonna find out about it? How are you planning to market the products or the services? And one of the things that drives me absolutely crazy as a judge is when asked who your competition is, a lot of people say, oh, I don't have any competition. You always have competition. Scour the market, figure out else there, because either it is direct competition, somebody who's doing something similar to what you're doing, and I know you guys are all really clever, but chances are somebody else has come up with something similar, or it's an indirect competition. You're replacing something that somebody else is doing in a different way. Uber was competition is some of the competition is taxis, right? Okay, they can say, well, we're a car sharing service. We don't have competition out on the market yet. Well, clearly they're replacing an existing, and they're going to make enemies out there. So how are you going to deal with that? And I think that's really important that you communicate that you understand your market. I sat in on a panel. There was a company that came over from Sweden, who you all know what's it called now? When you're driving up Easy Pass. Thank you. And the company came and they presented that they had this cell phone based service. This was going to be great. They're going to collect money as you drive. And I said, well, how are you going to? This was many years ago, but Easy Pass clearly had already a strong foothold on the market. How are you planning on competing with Easy Pass? Who? And they'd come over with this contingency from Europe to present, and they didn't even know that the market they were going into was already had a very dominant player who clearly continues to dominate and grow. So spend the time to understand your market, and at the same time also understand your customers, because entrepreneurship is a lot of it has you have to be really passionate about what you're doing and what you're selling, but you also have to understand that to be successful, you have to make your customers as passionate as you. You have to bring them into the fold. How do you make them not feel that you're just selling to them, but you're with them. You're together. You're listening to what they want. It's not just what you want in your product or service. If they're going to pay you for it, you need to listen to them. You need to figure out ways. It doesn't mean you have to react to everything they ask for. You can't customize your solution to everybody, but you need to listen to them. You need to make them understand that you are listening to them and make them feel that way. And again, make the numbers believable. There's nothing more frustrating than listening to a great pitch and then looking at the numbers and they're completely unrealistic. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to. You don't have to account for everything. I mean, the judges understand that this is you all are part of the business plan contest, that you're just learning, that you're going to figure it out as you go. But don't just completely forget whole swaths of expenses that you're going to have that would sink your company because you didn't include them. Questions? Are there other things you all wanted me to cover? Well, I'm really looking forward to see your concepts. Yes, questions?
Dress code. Since you're one of the judges, what's the dress code? What is it that you're looking for? Or better yet, what's your favorite color?
Well, I actually wore a suit. I thought, out of respect, I don't wear a suit to work. But I thought, out of respect, it's a business playing contest. I'll put my suit back on. But so entrepreneur. So I'll figure out a way to get back to your question. But I tend to, yeah.
Can I help answer it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not a judge, but I think that if you were presenting in front of a group, you'd want to look somewhat professional. It doesn't have to be a suit. But I think some of the groups last year, they wore their own merchandise gear, so there was like they were showing their brand. And so I don't know if you considered that at all.
Yeah, no, I thought that was nice too. Being part of the marketing and I mean sometimes you see that on I have mixed feelings about Shark Tank as a what it communicates about how this industry works. But you can see on that how people tend to dress, and sometimes they dress in their merchandise, sometimes not. So So that's a good point. But it's
I
good.
want to say something.
Yeah.
I wore a suit last year. I did not win, so I think you should focus on the quality rather than worry about what you want to wear.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, from my perspective, it doesn't have to be. I don't know. We're not expecting that you wear a suit. But you know, don't. But again, it depends on the brand. I mean, if you know, I think there's a lot of leeway there. But I will say, so what I would say is um, what we're looking for. It is a business plan contest, so don't get me wrong. The business plan is really, really important in all this. But it's also about the entrepreneur, because you can take. I've seen in all these years, you can take a really not a great business concept, and a really good entrepreneur can turn that into gold. And you can take the best idea in the world, and somebody who's not a great entrepreneur, and I don't know. I mean anything from not ethical to not whatever, it can sink that idea. So it's really also a lot about the people seeing the passion when you're up there talking about don't just. And I know it's hard. It's a big stage. It's a lot of people. It can be a little overwhelming. But when you're standing up there, be enthusiastic. You're clear. You're doing this because you love this idea and you really want to make this work. So be enthusiastic and make us love this idea as much as you do. Is there? Put us on another hand. Nope. Okay.
So this is just a taste of the type of advice that you will be getting each workshop, especially 1 through 4. This will be very helpful in developing your business even after the competition. And now we would like to introduce some of our former contestants so they can also just give you a little bit about their experience and then answer any questions if you have. First, we'll have Mr. Andre come up and tell us more.
Hi guys, my name is Andre and I participated last year, so I just want to give you, I guess, a brief summary of my experience. So unlike many people here, I came into Raptor Tank with just a concept, no business idea. I just had a concept that I wanted to turn into a product. So this, the workshops and the competition overall helped me understand the different aspects of a business, and then it helped me verbalize what I wanted to make, and then formulate a potential idea for a business. And I think that was very important. Also, I was very fortunate enough to work with an awesome group of people, and even though this was a competition, the environment was very friendly and everyone was willing to help. They were willing to pitch in, give verbalize ideas back and forth, and overall advance your personal business. So also you have access to awesome professors and faculty who can help you, because I spent I spent a half an hour occasionally after the workshop was over talking to one-on-one with the professor, so that really helped. Also, even though I didn't win this competition, it really helped me make something out of my concept, and basically it helped me create a portfolio in the form of research and financial potential financial stats. So later on this summer, I met up with the head of the company, Capital Bike Share. You might know them, the red bikes outside. And I talked to them, pitched my idea to them, had a meeting. So you can't just show up there and be I just want to make this idea for bikes. And you have to be straightforward. You have to be I researched this, I did this, I collected data, interviewing people off the streets and things like that. And I think that gets you a long way. And overall, I have not made headway with my project just yet because I've run into patent issues. But overall, it was really fun. It helped me advance my idea. And yeah, if any of you have questions. So yes.
Can you share how you got that meeting with Capital Bike Share?
Lots and lots of emails.
You were creative about how you did those emails, though, if I
So basically, for a long time, I didn't get responses from anyone because I mean, like, I guess my email isn't very creative. It's just my name with a few numbers on the end. So I created a separate email, which was, like, it was a business, like it was yeah, I don't remember it at the moment, but it was something to do like. I kind of took the idea from Wolf of Wall Street, and I took like a name that was like heavily embedded into like history, I guess, and I used that as a way to contact these companies. And even though a lot of them rejected my like me asking them for an interview, um, but at least I started getting responses from them, so that was just a cool thing. Yeah. So my business idea. I really like biking and I listen to music. That's just my form of exercising. And along the way, my phone would run out of battery. And so I was thinking of a way that you could charge your phone without going back home. So I thought that I could create a device that just gets clipped onto your bike and converts the mechanical energy into electric energy. So you can be biking, charging your phone. Potentially making like self-recharging bikes in the future. Just a cool concept. Yeah. So. Anyone have any questions?
Actually, so we'll have Natalie come up, and then both
Yeah.
of you can answer the questions if there's
Okay.
any more, just as a whole. So this is Natalie. She was our third prize winner. We can all give her a
All right, good afternoon, evening, everyone. I have my papers because I don't want to get off track. But my name is Natalie Wilson. I don't know what year I'm at. I'm like a sophomore-ish, working towards my associate's degree, hopefully my bachelor's within the next couple, I guess, next 2 semesters. So I came into Raptor Tank with, again, similar to Andre, I had just had a bunch of ideas, I started a business with my sister. That's kind of on hold because we're still trying to figure out the King's working as a partnership. But I had this other idea that came to me about 2 years ago. And it was a apron business. And so kind of typically you go to like Williams Sonoma, and the aprons are kind of tossed here and there. And I was like, there's nothing special about these aprons. I was looking for one for my friend, and I just was like, I need something that like speaks and reflects who she is. So I came up with this idea to come up with some high-end couture-inspired aprons. Check out my pitch on YouTube. More detail. But I really came in with just a thought, an idea. I wrote, a little different from last year. You guys are kind of starting as this bigger group. Last year, we had to submit our executive summaries, and then we got chosen to come. And so it was a lot smaller group that we're working with. I think it was like 7 of us maybe that started, but we started after the holiday. So this is a little different. And I think this is actually to your advantage because there's a lot more people. And there's a lot more, opportunity to share and talk about your business idea. But my experience, I had a lot of fun. Now, my background, I'm a mom. I work. I have to pay bills. So for me, it was a big sacrifice to do Raptor Tank because I literally had to change my whole work schedule for the span of like 8 weeks. God willing, thank God I still have a job at the same company, but my job allowed me to be a little bit more flexible. So that's kind of the first thing I would say to you and encourage you to do that. If, of course you have class and all these things, and especially the competition day, those days tend to be longer than coming here for like an hour. But I would take the risk, right? I would encourage you to take that risk if it means you have to call out of work, if it means you may have to, get here to finish up whatever you have to do, especially the day of the competition. Make some adjustments to your schedule that will allow you to be here. Because I think one thing I've been like listening to business people is kind of like, do you want to stay at your full-time job or whatever job you're at or school forever, or if this is something that you're passionate about, you'll take that sacrifice. So I definitely encourage you to make some adjustments in your schedule if you have to. Try not to miss any of the workshops. So from the idea, we got to talk to a lot of, the professors that were here and talk about the marketing, talking about the business, idea, the target market, like all those things are important because you're just kind of putting those pieces of the puzzle that maybe you may have the marketing side, but then you don't really know your product or you may not know your market. And so you come and you're actually able to, for me, I had like a big idea and I had to kind of scale it to something that would work with the target audience. And so I think taking these workshops seriously, talking to the professors, talking to each other. Like Andre said, like if I had an idea, I'd be like, Andre, hey, try this. There was another team. I'm like, hey, like, what's your name mean? Like, we don't understand what that means. Explain to us so that we can help you. And we really collaborated. One of the other teams actually made my logo for free. So help each other, because I think it benefits you, really benefits you in the long run. Like if you have skills to make logos and another team you see needs logos, make them a logo. They're not taking your business away. So that was one of the things that I think that took away was that teamwork. It can get competitive, obviously, and you want to be competitive because you want to win, but you also want to take whatever skills you have and help maybe another team that doesn't have that, so that everyone is kind of like on an even playing field. And then, of course, we have MCTV. MCTV. I did not want to be in front of the camera. I did not want to be having interviews and taking pictures. And I mean, the process kind of took me through the ringer just because I like back. I'm okay, just kind of chilling back. But I think MCTV kind of helped build my confidence in my, in my product, because it caused me to talk about it more and more and more and more. And then you'll start to make some adjustments to kind of like how you want people to see your product, how you want people to see you. And kind of to your point about dressing up, that stage is hot. So dress, I feel like just dress in a way that will make you confident to present your idea. I'm not saying, come in like t-shirts and shorts and flip-flops, but you come in something that's going to make you feel comfortable, perhaps not sweating under the lights, but have fun with MCTV, because Danielle is great. The team is really great. They're fun, and you go into this and like, okay, why am I in a studio with purple lights behind me taking pictures? But enjoy the process, because it goes by fast. Like I feel like we were just submitting our stuff last year. Ours was, and our competition was in April, so we've only been like 6 months, 7 months. I don't even know how long it's been, but just enjoy the process because it really does go fast. So for me, where I'm at with my business, I found a manufacturer, so that was great. After Raptor Tank, I went to Florida and randomly ran across this woman with like a bathing suit factory, and she offered to make my samples. So that's kind of what we're working on, trying to get fabrics. And so starting like retail is a little hard when you're starting from scratch. It's a little expensive. So just kind of in the process of working through our website, I had someone helping me over the summer. I had like a little intern, which was kind of great, helping me with just some paperwork, website, things like that. And lastly, I guess for me doing this competition, I actually found a passion in like the retail textile industry. I see kind of a gap in the industry. So I'm actually going to be going to school for my bachelor's in business, but focusing on like manufacturing, retail, textiles, things like that. So enjoy it. It's crazy, but you're gonna be like, what are we doing? Why am I doing all this? But at the end, you'll really be, it'll benefit you in the long run. So that's it.
So now we'll be having the Q&A for the past participants, for Andre and Natalie. And if you guys have any questions at all, just ask them.
What's your question?
Oh, how much progress did you guys make before the presentation? Or did you just have an idea?
No.
Do you mean like from workshop 1 to the last thing?
Right.
So like presenting?
Yeah.
I think all of us had a different, some of us started with already like an active business. I know for me, I came in with nothing, but then I managed to get like a couple random samples. It was kind of a little later on, but I spent a little bit of money on getting some, getting samples, had someone draw up some pictures of the aprons that I wanted. So, I mean, I wouldn't say like, I didn't have like a product at the end, but I did have like a picture and people could see like what I was seeing in my mind during the time of presentation. So that was my own experience. I don't know. I mean, I know.
Wait, similarly, like I said earlier, I came in here with just a concept, nothing else. I'm a computer science major, so I didn't have any background in business. But through from workshop 1 to to the last one, I feel like I made a lot of progress, because not only was I able to come up with a potential business idea with something that could work, I was also able to gather data. I went out into DC, and I just surveyed a lot of people on the streets, and I found out that my target audience would actually like this product, and it for a long I think over the first two workshops, a big idea that like developed was whether you have a target audience. Like, what is it like? In a lot of cases, I was like, oh, it's everyone who has bikes. You know, like everyone has a bike who has a phone. But I was told that I have to cut that down even further. So, yeah, these workshops really do help you. Is like if you think that this is a way that will force you to develop your idea, rather because like if you're not gonna participate outside of like this, you're probably gonna be sitting out and you're like, oh, like I'll do this tomorrow. Like I'm gonna sit down and you're not. You're really not. So this is just I guess an active way to help you progress your idea. So.
I mean, don't feel like you may have to go in with something specific. Do as much as you can in the time that you have.
Right.
So that may be that you, like you said, you collected data, and that's good information to present. Depending on your product, I mean, you don't necessarily need to have maybe a physical thing there. But if you're showing them, like, hey, this can make money. Hey, like, you know, people want this. Like, that's two strong places that you're like, okay, well, they can see potential. So that's what I would, encourage.
Is like in my case, like, I went out and I got data, and then later on when I met with Capital Bike Share, a big, I guess like one of my biggest arguments was a lot of people I surveyed, they were like, I would take one of those bikes if my phone was out of battery just to get to my second location just to charge my phone. Not that I need the bike because I can walk, but if like this came together, then I'd be able to charge my phone, and that'd be my sole reason for getting the bike. You know what I mean? And that's a big idea like I played on. So it just helps you, I guess, visualize your strengths, weaknesses, and things like that.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, what was the hardest part in all that experience? Was it like getting a new idea, developing it, or pitching it? Like, what was the hardest part of this whole experience?
The hardest part was the time.
Time.
The time. Yeah, it's a lot of 1 hour here, then you got to go home and do some work. Like, you can't just come and be like, I got my marketing plan in an hour session, but it's actively like finding the time to reach out to a professor who, if it's a marketing or whatever it is that you need help with. It's that taking that time, sacrificing time, because we know time is like that resource that we can't get back. So that for me, at least for me, that was probably the hardest part of this.
Yeah, I definitely agree because you definitely have to take initiative with what's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. No one's going to do anything for you. Like, they're going to help, but they're not going to sit down and write everything down while you sit there. So you really have to do work at home and then come in and be prepared for the next workshop. In my case, I feel like the hardest part was developing it because in my case, I have to develop a prototype, which takes a lot more knowledge than I have at the moment. So yeah, that was my biggest issue.
I have two questions actually. The first one is, if you're not selling a product, you're selling more of a service, could you theoretically bring a prototype anyway? Like, would it help?
And it's like, if you have a service,
Yeah, like a restaurant or something.
I feel like I don't know if I'm quite understand what you're saying, but I feel like anything that helps the judges visualize your idea or better understand it, I think that would help because it just gives them better faith in your success, the business working. Because like one of the something that I lacked was a prototype. After talking to the judges after the competition, one of the key points that they mentioned was that I didn't have a prototype. They didn't know what they were investing their money into. They were like, great idea, but how do we know you're not going to take the money and run? They wanted to know that they wanted to see something that I guess would come out of their investment. So having something that would help them like build faith, I guess, and yeah, anything that helps them understanding or visualizing your idea.
And second question, I have the worst social skills out of anybody I know. So do you have any pointers for me for making surveys easier?
I would say use your strengths. I don't think not everyone likes public speaking. I think this is going to force you to kind of break out if you're very shy, if you're kind of quiet. I feel like Andre was kind of quiet last year. He's actually, from when I seen him last time to when I seen him today, like there's been a drastic change in his presentation. So you may come in and you're kind of like, I don't want to talk to anyone, get away from me. But really, you are surrounded by people that want to help you. And if you are someone that's probably a little bit more outgoing, you can tell if she's already saying that she may have no social skills, you might want to tack yourself on. And, like I said, it's just time. I think it's just helping each other. But I mean, besides that, you may have a great idea that you're able to present. So I would say just kind of focus on your strengths and not necessarily on the social issues. I don't think you're the only person that feels that way. We all do.
Can I add to that?
Absolutely.
We have people who've been in a similar situation who weren't strong presenters.
Yeah.
They actually partnered up with people who shared a passion for their idea, who did have good presentations. And so, just like a real business, sometimes you're strong in one area but not strong in others, and that's why you look to form partnerships. So that'd be another consideration for you also.
One more quick
Okay,
question.
last question, and then we want to be respectful of everyone's time.
It's not really a question for you guys, but can a person be involved in multiple projects? Can a person be involved in multiple projects?
That's a great question. For the competition, you need to choose which team you're going to be on.
Oh.
So it's okay if you're helping each other, obviously, but you need to choose a team that you plan to present on behalf of on the competition day. You can't present on behalf of 3 teams on the qualifier day and hope that one of them makes it to the next.
Make trying to increase your chances, I see. Okay.
It's very creative, I like it.
Okay, so just quickly, we're gonna wrap up.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you so much. So we do have about 10 minutes left. You're more than welcome to just come around to all of the faculty or advisors and us. I know Andre has to go, but I think if Natalie has some time, you could also come by and ask her questions. The next workshop, we will be kind of introducing everyone else, yourselves more, so you can get comfortable. And I also was a part of the competition, so feel free to ask me any questions as well.
So are there questions about the program right now, either for Natalie, the finalists who are in the room, the judges, or any of us about what any of the programming requirements? There's a couple things we wanted to just clarify about investment. Just so you understand that prize money is a check that you'll get shortly after the competition. We'll ask you for some information and a check will be distributed. That money is coming from the profits from our student-run business on campus, the MBI Cafe. So it's really cool. It's their business that's sponsoring your business. It's a really cool, unique part of our business competition that students are running it and funding it, which is really cool. We don't ask for anything in return except that you're, being excited about this program and you're doing your thing. We don't take a cut of your business. I just wanted to clarify that, okay? I'm not chasing Natalie down for a loan or something. We don't want to, and you don't want us to either.
So when you referred to investing, I think that's like the mentality that the judges take. It's like, would we invest in this business? And so it's not really investing, but that's the thought process.
Also, for those of you who have not filled out the intent to participate form, if you guys could just stay right after we finish up here, fill that out. We'll have laptops available for that. And for those of you who have the code of conduct and who have not filled it out, you could just pass those around and we'll collect those as well.
I just want to say one thing as a judge, and just be clear that just because you don't win, in no way means it's not a great idea, it's not going to be successful. That's just judging on one day based on the presentation and the competition. And I don't know the list, but I'm sure there are plenty of businesses that have done phenomenally that didn't win. I know in my career of judging a business plan contest, something didn't win. It was unbelievably successful. So, if you don't win, just keep at it.
Also, we'll be sending a reminder next week for the next workshop, and something you should expect for the next workshop, you'll be introducing yourselves and also pitching your business idea. And also we'll be starting a group meet, and we'll be sending that out also with the link to the workshop video if you'd like to rewatch it. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask the advisors, us, or Natalie.
Just to clarify, you'll get an email after each workshop with a YouTube link to the workshop. So if you want to rewatch some of what you saw today or anything like that, you'll get the link from them thanking you and any other materials that might have been given during that workshop. Group me, do you guys mind just telling everyone what group? Does everyone know what group me is? it right, Natalie?
Oh,
They
yeah.
had access to each other on that. We still use it. Has everybody signed up, filled out the sheet, sign-in sheet? No, okay.
I mean, I'm down.